I think most people hear words like blockchain, crypto, tokenization, AI, and tend to switch off. And I get it, because for too long this stuff has been explained badly. Too much jargon, too much hype, and in my opinion, not enough clarity. I'm Oliver. I've spent over a decade working inside financial services, fintech, and digital assets, and I've generally had the privilege to work with some of the most forward-thinking firms in this space. But throughout this time, one thing has always stood out to me, and that is the general lack of awareness in wider society of the genuinely transformative impact of these technologies and how they will affect most, if not all of us, throughout our lifetime. There is so much more to it than just Bitcoin and making speculative crypto investments. So I started this channel to make this knowledge accessible. I think for too long this information has been difficult to access and reserved only for those in certain roles and companies. What I want to do is to cut through the noise and give you the intelligence and information that actually matters, as best I can in plain English. So, let's get into it. Imagine you're a business owner. You run a small manufacturing business with about 15 employees. You source components from suppliers in Germany, Poland, Vietnam, Estonia. Good business, growing. But every month, without fail, you're losing money. Not because your margins are bad, not because your costs are excessively high, but because of the fees you pay to move large amounts of money between countries. Bank transfer fees, currency conversion fees, correspondent banking fees. By the time the money arrives at your supplier in Vietnam, you've paid somewhere between 3 and 5% of the total just for the privilege to move it. On £100,000 of international payments a year, that's up to £5,000 just gone every year just to move money. And here's the thing, there is now a technology that can move that same money in seconds for a fraction of a penny to anywhere in the world. And the UK government and the FCA have made it a regulatory priority for 2026. Today I want to explain what that technology is, how it works, and what it means for every UK business that sends or receives money internationally. Let me give you the simplest possible way to understand what stablecoins do. Think about how communication changed when we went from letters to WhatsApp. A letter can take days, it costs money to send, it goes through multiple sorting offices, and of course it can get lost. We've all received a Christmas card in January. Compare that to a WhatsApp message, takes a millisecond, costs almost nothing, it's very secure, and it works at 3 in the morning on Christmas Day. The information being sent is the same, the message is the same, but the infrastructure carrying it is radically different. And I think that's exactly the difference really between a traditional international bank transfer and a stablecoin payment. A stablecoin is a digital currency pegged to a real world value, usually the pound, euro or the dollar. One stablecoin equals £1. It does not go up and down like Bitcoin. But because it lives on a blockchain, it moves at the speed of the internet. Seconds, almost no cost, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no bank in the middle taking a big cut. It's the same money as far as the customer is concerned, it's just a completely different infrastructure which carries the payment. Now look, stablecoins are not new, but something significant has changed in 2026 that makes this directly relevant to UK businesses. The FCA named stablecoin payments a priority for 2026. They are actively building the regulatory framework that will allow UK issued stablecoins to be used for payments with proper consumer protection, proper reserve backing and proper oversight. The UK government's Payments Modernisation Package, announced earlier this year, specifically includes stablecoins as part of the future payments infrastructure, not as a fringe experiment, but as a core part of how the UK intends to move money in the future. And the World Bank estimates that the global average cost of sending a remittance, money sent internationally, is around 6%. 6%. For a small business doing significant international trade, that is a material cost. The technology to reduce it to near zero, it already exists. The regulatory framework to make it safe and legitimate for UK businesses is being built right now. That is why this matters today. Let me give you a couple of real examples of stablecoin payments already in operation. Stripe, the payments powerhouse that powers millions of businesses globally, has already integrated stablecoin payments into their platform. Businesses can now receive payments in stablecoins and convert them instantly. The infrastructure is live. Visa as well is settling over $2.5 billion a year in transactions using stablecoins. Their partners receive funds in seconds instead of days, on weekends, on bank holidays, whenever. Quick pause. If you're finding this useful, please hit subscribe. Every week I cover exactly this kind of shift in plain English. It really helps the channel grow. Back to it. So practically, what should a UK business owner actually do with this information? First, understand your current international payment costs. Sit down and work out exactly what you're paying in fees, conversion charges, correspondent banking costs every year. For most businesses doing significant international trade, this number is much larger than they realise. That number is your motivation. Second, watch the FCA framework. The stablecoin payments regime is being built right now. When it does go live, and it will, the businesses that already understand how stablecoins work will be able to adapt and adopt it quickly. The ones who have never heard of it will take months to catch up. Thirdly, talk to your bank or payment provider. Ask them what their stablecoin strategy is. Ask them if they plan to offer stablecoin settlement options. The answer will tell you a lot about how forward thinking they are and whether you need to be looking at alternatives. And fourth, do not rush into anything unregulated. The FCA framework exists for a reason. Until UK regulated stablecoin payment options are available, be cautious about using unregulated providers. The technology is sound, but it's the regulation which makes it safe and protects consumers. I want to be straight with you. Stablecoin payments for UK SMEs are not mainstream yet. The regulatory framework is being built. The infrastructure is being tested. The businesses that are using this today are mostly larger organisations with the resources to navigate the complexity. But the overall direction is clear. The FCA has made it a priority. The government has included it in the payments modernisation agenda. The technology works. The question is not whether this becomes mainstream, it's simply when. And the businesses that understand it before it becomes mainstream will have had a head start that is very hard to close. And as our example showed, thousands of pounds a year in unnecessary transfer fees is a very good reason to start paying attention now. Look, this stuff is moving fast, and the gap between the people who understand it and the people who don't is only getting wider every day. That's why I'm here, and that's why this channel exists. If you found this episode useful, then please hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more people find exactly the type of content we've been discussing today. Now, if you want to keep up with what's happening more broadly, then please subscribe. Every week I put out content that discusses exactly the kind of shifts that we've been talking about today. If you want to go deeper than YouTube allows, then please head over to our website, linked in the description below. You can book a bespoke coaching session directly and over time access structured training materials. No hard sell, no spam, just the right conversation and the right information at the right time. I'm Oliver and this is Read Between the Blocks. I'll see you next week.